And welcome into the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode here on 102.5 The Game. I'm Joe Rexrode. Robby is out today. In his place, we have the venerable Paul Kuharsky. Ian Safar producing. He will be producing slash, officiating the bout today. But we're going to have some great conversation. We're broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And the Robby and Rexrode show is presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. For homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in, visit greenventureslandscaping.com. PK, how are you? You feeling good? I'm sorry I didn't get you a big goal.
I'm contemplating leaving. We were negotiating this week. Chase had asked me if I would do this. I was iffy because I knew there was a late game last night coming. And this was before any consequences were known, but this is my thing. And I've had this week off from PK.com. I've been working on my Belmont stuff. I've been kind of downshifted, enjoying myself. You were gracious in your negotiations, and you threw in, this was the capper, this was the carrot, a biggest goal possible, Coke Zero. And you said, some money, some fun, big Coke Zero. Come on, pal. And I was like,
soccer.
You talked me into it.
We'll talk soccer.
Me into it. And I'm a sucker. Because I'm here first, and you come walking in, and you've got your big backpack. Apparently it hasn't been stolen. And you've got a cup of coffee in one hand and a big black cup, and you've got this emerald green Go Irish cup. And there's no third cup. Ian, it's empty-handed.
Empty.
And then I'll buy you anything you want from this soda machine out here, this lukewarm thing with these tiny plastic bottles that have been in there for months, stale, as if that's an offset. So I'm quite disappointed. That's a friendship broken, fractured.
So here's the thing. I will.
And I almost texted you last night, and I said, no, this is a reliable guy. And I shouldn't have to remind him about a pledge that he made of this size, of this magnitude.
I truly, I'm not lying right now. Like I didn't really think you meant like for the show. Like, I'm just gonna get you a big gulp. I get you a big
gulp for the show, which is gonna keep me awake for the show.
Big gulps are weird at 6 a.m. The big gulps are much better in the afternoon, right?
In the afternoon, I'm gonna go back to bed.
All right. Well, I've got you I will keep feeding you those
this is so
delicious.
Warm.
Come on.
The temperature setting on that thing is like, I don't know what a refrigerator is supposed to be, but it's a good 7 degrees.
Okay.
Off.
I'll get the next one. Like Ian said, Ian suggested this. Next break, I'll get you another one. I'll put it in the freezer for a segment. We'll bring that out of it absolutely frosty.
Do you drink soda?
I do. I
try
not
know
to,
the
but
difference
I do.
between a nice fountain drink with ice and a bottle of soda out of a machine.
Well,
it's two different products.
Yes, I would say, though, that especially, no free ads, at a particular fast food restaurant. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's really, fountain drink is spectacular there.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought maybe Joe would go out of his way and even go there to get me the best.
That's where I will.
Soda.
So there you go. That's where I will get you when I get you the big gulp, which I will. I'm going to follow through on this. It'll be from there.
It's going to follow through
at some point
for some show that I'm not signed up yet to do.
Hey, listen, you clearly like pop a lot, so whenever you get a big gulp, I think it'll be.
I don't like it that much. I need it.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
We'll keep it flowing today, and there will be a big gulp in the future. So really, you're going to get more than just one big gulp. You're getting all these pops too, plus the big gulp.
And your.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I am sorry. I really, yeah. What do you mean the pop thing?
Call it soda.
So you moved here. Do you talk like the locals here? No, you do not.
On a few things.
Yeah, okay. It's pop.
Like if I was dumb enough to say pop, I would change
soda, pop. Go back to the origin. I've done a rant on this long ago. Let's go find the origin of the term of what we called it, soda pop. So soda.
Pop. So pop. You could choose to keep the first word or the second.
That's fine.
And you're being belligerent.
I don't have a problem with soda. Pop is my preference. I don't have as long as you let me say that, it's fine. Anything else is is goofy.
Well, people who call Sprite Coke, that's just dumb.
Fair enough. All right, so we've moved past that. I apologize.
Oh, it'll resurface.
Okay, yes. But I got to get into the big match with you. USMNT loses, and it's really interesting because I need you to tell me what it means. They rotated their lineup. I mean, I saw some players out there last night. I'm like, I see why that guy doesn't play as opposed to the guy who's on the bench. For example, Tim Weah. I'm like, man, Pulisic, Balogun, some of these guys, there's a difference. You can see it. Some of their key guys are out. They're not going to let them get yellow cards and be suspended. It's still, to me, some disappointment, some mistakes. It's a loss. You have all this momentum. Pochettino storms out of his press conference angry that people aren't I guess he wanted every question to be like, congratulations on winning the group. It's like, well, we're going to talk about this particular game, are we not? I'm not freaking out about it, but you tell me, is there any loss of momentum, any concern, anything negative from this loss in your mind?
Well, you don't know about the loss of momentum until we see what happens Wednesday night, but obviously very few guys that are going to play Wednesday night involved in this. Pulisic looked really good when he came in, had, a couple big threatening chances, so that's encouraging. And there were a couple guys out there, if you slot Berhalter was great, but if you slot in one of these guys with the main lineup, he could be fine. When you put them all in at the same time, you get poor results. The three big defensive breakdowns are terrible. Mark McKenzie, not to be mistaken with Weston McKennie. Mark McKenzie was terrible. He was involved in all three goals, and he was lost, and he didn't chase hard enough. He didn't fight hard enough. And there's no reason he should cede the field again during this tournament unless, we got three guys wounded. So look, it's a meaningless game, but you put a team out there and they score early and you think, hey, the energy thing's happening. And then they have two big gaffes and then they come back and they get into a draw position. They should have drawn the game. That last play of the game, they lose on it with three defenders botching it, including my guy, McKenzie, who's just in, my target for this game. So, like you're saying, like you look at a big picture, everything's fine. But we're going to assess the game, the night we watch the game. And it was a disappointing.
Is this soccer culture? Is this soccer culture that he's so upset about the questioning?
Yeah, probably. And it's probably a non-American view of it where
people are afraid to question.
So many people are on the train now and excited about it and not really looking at the big picture in that way. You saw two great games. You saw them come back from 2-1 down and you're thinking, here you are. And then they blow it. And you're like, what the hell happened? And he's not thinking about that. He's thinking we're going to be fine on Wednesday. Watch. And that's 6 days away. And people just saw what they just saw. And so they want to answer for why did you blow it tonight, whether it mattered or not. We're looking at this momentum. We saw Mexico win 3 and carry into the group. And that said, we've got a really nice setup considering the options to play and some of the matchups that are going to be in this round. Bosnia Herzegovina is a good match, not a super, super tough team. We could lose to them, but they're not going to clobber us. And we should win. We'll be favored.
Make sure to hit us up on the game and text hotline driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com, 615-737-1025. Call or text. Someone telling me it's Coke. No, it's not. Someone saying this is Grumpy Old Men Radio. Well, that's about right. Joey from Bellevue. Joe, we need an update if you slept with a sleep apnea. Yeah, I tried last night. And it sucked. I'm not done. I'm not giving up. I can't give up. But the few minutes I actually fell asleep, I woke up and I had slobber all over myself inside the mask. So I had to what is that? How do I prevent that? I don't know. But
don't think
basically,
you
at about 1:30, I finally just said, to hell with this. I need to get some sleep, and I discarded it. So it's going really well.
Success.
Yeah. So
we will be monitoring this every day.
yeah, I'm sure.
We get the CPAP report. There should be an obvious sponsorship here. The CPAP report.
That is a fair. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah, hit me up, CPAP. Ian's in there. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, all right, we get some ideas. I also, PK, you hit on it, but I do want to keep going with the soccer, and I want to look ahead because you mentioned the first game, but it looks like we kind of have a better idea of what's after that and then beyond. So we will get into that.
I haven't
next.
seen the one thing about the broadcast. I mean, I have a lot of complaints about the broadcast, but I haven't seen like a steady like post game. Like, where do you see Pochettino after the game? I mean, I see an on-field interview after the game with the player or two, and then that's it. There's no great end of the day post game wrap up. The James Corden thing isn't what I want.
I can't find. I can't find right now any actual footage of the press conference. I'm reading quotes where he.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
okay. All right, good. All right, when we come back, we'll get into that and the road ahead for USMNT. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode, 125 the game. Paul Kuharsky in for Robby, talking a little bit of USMNT. The big loss to Turkiye. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Turkiye, yes?
Yes. I mean, I should have looked for an explanation of how they changed. And the other one, Czechia.
Well, my guess is that, like, we've basically just at some point someone was like, how about we just call you Turkey? Like decades ago. And it was like, okay, I guess you can call us Turkey. That's my guess. And it's like, actually, this is how it's more correctly pronounced.
A lot of those guys have a lot of umlauts and other markings, a lot of punctuation in their names.
And by the way, these guys have, and I've heard this on every broadcast and also in some of the shows in between, I guess ESPN, maybe a little more Fox, I don't know. But apparently people are furious, right, about Turkiye. It's a high-priced team.
Oh, they've underachieved.
High expectations.
They went to the quarterfinals in 2002. But they also, I mean, they're a big soccer country, but they don't go to the World Cup regularly. I mean, it's just so hard to get out of Europe.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so this
are they in Europe or are they in Asia for the purposes of World Cup?
I thought that they were in Asia. But
at any rate, they don't get out often, but they have a rich history and they're a good team. That's the other thing about last night. We're playing B teams. They're motivated to get to make a showing before they fly home.
Right.
And they're better. I mean, the way they played last night, they were substantially better than Paraguay or Australia.
Right.
More threatening.
It says Europe for Turkey.
Okay.
Quick search.
It's super hard to get out of Europe. I mean, Italy is one of the best soccer countries in the nation. They haven't been in the World Cup the last 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So they get a big win to end it. As Pochettino said last night, well, you guys are acting like we're going home. And it's like, I don't know. Again, I haven't heard the question. I know Ian's listening.
There's some, I think the main one right
Is
here.
it Kuharsky like combative questioning? Like, what's wrong with you? I mean,
no, it's your boy from The Athletic.
Now he'll be like,
which
perfect question.
Tom.
I would never say anything about The Athletic.
Bogert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have 10 million people covering the World Cup. So shut up, Kuharsky. By the way, shut up. Okay. Wait, do you have some of this? You want to play some of it?
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to some of this.
So the team got off to a great start with the first 2 wins to seal first place in the group. You go into the knockout rounds, I'm sure, wanting to win all 3 games. Is there any worry that you lost any momentum in this third game today? Thank you.
If you explain what means momentum, that topic is a topic that I don't understand the momentum. Which is a momentum to play with the same team and that we play again Australia and to take the risk to receive a yellow card and not to play tomorrow the next game to miss some player or to risk some player that maybe have some problems or circumstance. Or I don't understand the momentum. Germany lose the momentum too. I'm playing with the same team that I think only one change or one substitution from. I don't know. Too many topics in football, in soccer, that I don't understand. The objective was to finish first, and we are first. And now is the next stage, and it's going to be a final, and we are ready. We are much better than before that game because we had players now with 90 minutes in their legs and performing. I think ready to help if we need from the beginning or after from the bench. I think it's all positive, and I am so positive, and I am happy. Maybe I am not showing because your questions are a little bit weird, but I am so happy, and the players are happy because I think we perform, we compete, and we are first. I was talking with the Turkish channel now, and I says, have a good trip back to Turkey, and we are going. But I think now when I arrive here, maybe I am confused, but maybe the mood is like, or the vibes is like, we go home tonight and Turkey stay, no?
Listen, I don't have a problem with overall with
in
his
all
sentiment.
seriousness, the question was fine.
Yeah, no, the question was fine, and the answer was fine. He didn't get heated there. This is my only issue. And I think Pochettino, like, it was a slow build, but he's doing excellent work now. He's had them very prepared. Everybody knows their role. It's a unified team that's playing very well. This is my only problem when we have a foreign coach. And this guy understands the American mentality and players and stuff. But you have to understand the American mentality in big picture. So he says, I don't understand momentum. I don't really believe him. I think he understands the American concept of momentum, and I think he could do a better job handling it there. He does it, but he doesn't do it completely where he could say, you guys are looking for momentum, thinking that game is the thing that's going to swing us into the round of 32. And the thing that's going to swing us into the round of 32 is we have no suspensions. We've got our full team. That is not a setback that's going to throw off anything we're doing. Look at what we did in the first 2 games. That's who we are, and we're going to be just fine going forward. That's a blip that does not throw us off course. I think he could articulate that. His English is good enough. He understands the thematics, and so he's kind of looking for a little difficulty there. I think maybe to spark his team a little bit. He's playing the game.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, because I mean, it just like it's all that perspective and all that context is correct. I mean, it's like this is not their team, and you clean the slate.
And Turkey's going home.
Yeah, it's all. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with just the vibe. He used the word vibe there. I mean, the vibes have been incredibly high, and maybe it's good. I mean, it could be good, and maybe some people could call that spin, but I don't. I could buy that a little setback like this actually is a decent thing. It's just a question of, and you know better than me, PK, but USMNT in this tournament, it seems like any bit of positivity and hope and momentum is probably what you'd rather have as opposed to any doubt creeping in.
Well, what you want to do is win the group, right? Spain has played 2 games. They have a draw. Maybe the best team in the world. The Netherlands has finished their group. They had 2 wins and a draw. He mentioned Germany. Germany has 2 wins and a loss. They won their group. We think in Germany they're up in arms. I don't think so, that they lost to Ecuador. But Brazil has 2 wins and a draw. How many 3-0 teams are there? Mexico.
Right. But you're talking also, again, you're talking about some clubs there that are used to having success in this tournament and know they're good.
Yeah.
So, but that would be the only thing. I think it might be good, and it's not the same team. If you watch the first 2 games,
9 out of 11 guys change over. That's a massive turnover.
It's not the same team. Okay, so Bosnia Herzegovina is definitely the match. That is Wednesday in San Fran. If you win, you get to the round of 16 in Seattle, July 6th. It looks like, I guess it's probably Egypt or South Korea.
Well, I've seen Egypt, Belgium, Iran.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm looking at the bracket right now, and I thought it was Egypt, Belgium, Iran on one side, South Korea, Algeria, Senegal on the other side. Okay, so
I would Senegal is the scariest team to me out of all of that.
Really?
I think. Yeah. I mean, Egypt, they got Salah, another Salah, who's probably the most dangerous guy out of all of them. But listen, out of that pool of teams, tell me your side again.
So you got Egypt, Belgium, Iran. You got South Korea, Algeria, Senegal. That's all in the –
Look, I mean, if you're picking 6 teams to pull out of that deep in the tournament, man, I'll take those. Senegal concerns me the most. I saw South Korea the other night that flat and couldn't do a damn thing. Egypt has a start. You could lose to any of those teams, but I would venture a guess that we would be favored against everybody.
So, which means that you're talking about a real shot here to get to the quarters, and then you're probably looking at Spain.
The quarters, you're looking at Spain, and that's big trouble. Now, we've played toe-to-toe with Spain.
But that would be a massive event. If,
Yeah.
if this country got to a quarterfinal
Quarterfinal.
against Spain, that would be.
Look, if you get to the quarterfinal, you're one of the best 8 teams in the world. If we're one of the best 8 teams in the world, an American World Cup, and we don't embarrass ourselves in that game, I'll take it.
All right, we got
dream the dream in that game, and pray
Yeah.
and do all your rituals
try
and
to-
stuff,
well,
and
and
see
that-
what
well,
happens.
That's a game like that is where you try to pull off this incredible historic upset. On
That's
your
why
home
Michael
turf and-
Ruzioni's in commercials right now.
Well, okay. I'm glad you brought that up. That brings up a question. There is a lot of reaction too. We are going to get into Titans, but we'll continue a little bit more of soccer too, because this is a soccer show now. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rex. 125 the game. PK in for Robby today. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Ian, we rocking some. Is this going to be a
Yacht Rock Day?
Yacht Rock Day?
I'm gonna try.
Who came up with that?
Ian did, and it's it's always the right idea. This is hold on. This is player baby come back, right?
Baby
Hell
come
yes.
back.
You know.
Is Steely Dan Yacht Rock
So it's funny you say that. You have not seen the Yacht Rock
movement?
documentary?
Oh, I've not seen the documentary.
It's very worth watching.
What's it on?
I think it's Netflix.
Couldn't tell you.
It's great. Both of you. It's great. I'm trying to get Katie to watch it. She's I'm not watching that crap. I swear to you, you'll love it. It's amazing. And the whole the guy who you remember the YouTube
Looks like HBO
show.
Max.
Okay. You remember the YouTube show with like the fake like Michael McDonald? It was like a little comedy show. That kind of started the whole Yacht Rock thing.
Yeah.
Right? They had Kenny Loggins, their adventures, Well, anyways, so this guy who like created the website and all this stuff he set out clear, like line of delineation on what is and what isn't. Like Fleetwood Mac doesn't qualify, and he explains all why. What's that?
It shouldn't.
The lack of horns, like there's a lot of things that have to be. So yes, Steely Dan does, but they hate that. And by the way,
I would imagine they would.
I'm a massive Steely Dan fan. I've seen them
Steely
live.
Dan, great.
I have the freaking box set. Okay, I love
they're
Steely
not
Dan.
known as much of a live band. I mean, they're really studio band that perfected things in the studio and really cared about
they were
them.
great. And it was in 2014 in Detroit, it was after a
South
Tigers
Detroit.
game. No, it was downtown Detroit. Oh yeah, Jess, Yacht Rock doc on the YouTube. Yeah, absolutely, you got to watch
want
it.
to check that out.
But yeah, a big part of this is they called Donald Fagen, and I won't ruin the whole thing, but he was
I
basically
can't imagine he was
fart you and go
cooperative.
fart yourself.
Those guys are not real
No.
pleasant overall. I don't think.
No, but they're
Fagen and Becker.
but they are amazing. Becker,
Is Becker alive?
rest in peace.
Yeah.
No, he is not alive. So
Just
anyway.
on the TV note, I want to circle back to this. I've made note of it. I did conclude Mad Men, and you told me it's a very satisfactory ending with Don Draper, and I want you to tell me why you thought so.
You didn't think that was a brilliant ending?
I'm kind of mid feeling.
I mean, to me, okay, we're gonna spoil Mad Men on the show now.
The show's 10, 15 years old.
Okay, to me, the end of that. First of all, that's one of the most iconic ads ever, right? And it's like this entire season and that's the inspiration for that. To me, he's trying to find himself. In the end, he's like, you know what? I'm a freaking advertising exec. That's what I am.
Well, him walking out of the meeting in the big corporate world that he joined. I mean, to me, that's the end. Him oming at some yoga retreat. That is a little much.
Right, but again, the
me.
point is he does all that, and it's like I'm trying to get away from this world, and it's like, oh man, I have a great idea for an ad. That's the end. I thought that was brilliant. So anyway, thanks for spoiling Mad Men for the people.
Listen, the spoiler alerts, and 5 years after something's off the air. At a certain point, it's way. I mean, that show's old.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
And the reason I hesitated to watch it in its time is that I thought it was slow, and it is slow.
Mad Men.
Yeah.
I think it's like a lot of shows. Like early, it's tremendous, and then it drags. They
there
struggle
were a couple
to keep
moments
it going.
where new seasons began that it really revved up, like when they first moved offices and went to a different office. They were charged up, and everybody was fired up for it to be new. It had a massive energy. I don't know if that was it might have been as late as season 4, and it was totally rejuvenated. But then at the end, where what's her face, the main character, Elizabeth when she fell in love with the bearded guy, it was just okay, we need to wrap up her character with a love interest. And she had so much more chemistry with so many other guys during the show. And then they're like, all right, we're going to put a bow on Peggy, and we'll just have her fall in love with the guy that she's working with right now, when there was no hint of them being in love before that. I thought they were just tidying things up a little bit.
I had no idea that we would go. I thought maybe we'd veer into Yacht Rock, but we veered into Mad Men.
I did enjoy it, and I was looking for something, quite frankly, long. I wanted something that was going to take me a long time, and it served its purpose.
I need to. We are going to get to the Titans, but I've got to ask you a question. First of all, one text here that I want to get to. Trevor saying, or no, Brett in Lebanon saying, can we address there's 48 teams, water down the competition, made the U.S. appear better from a historical perspective?
Well, look, the whole tournament is watered down, but I don't think their group. I mean, this is a conceivable group in a 32-team tournament. Austria, Paraguay,
It's not a bad group,
and Turkiye. And if you're in a home tournament, you get slotted as an A team. So that's part of the benefits of hosting. And so more power to them. Canada was slotted as an A team. Mexico was slotted as an A team. That's part of your advantage. Now, the benefit of that is winning the group gets you in line for 2 games against these teams that we're talking about,
right,
starting with Bosnia and then a pool of Egypt, Belgium, Iran, South Korea, Algeria, or Senegal. That's heavenly. Now, that's a benefit of a watered-down tournament.
right? So, yeah. So, look, no one should assume anything, but there's a real chance here, okay, that we're talking about 2 wins. It's possible. Like, I would say that USMNT, will be favored to win those games.
And the other thing about this watered-down tournament, like there have been a couple teams that haven't belonged, but Ivory Coast is advancing, and that's an awesome.
How about Cape
story.
Verde too? Just what that's an amazing.
There've
story.
been some awesome
Yeah,
stories.
no question. Okay, so let's say we get to U.S. Spain. Okay, you mentioned Mike Eruzione. Now, to me, there's no way this is that, right?
No.
This is not that. But put it into perspective. What is it? What U.S. this team versus this Spain team? Put it into perspective in some other sport that would we'll try.
I hate that. Like, put it in perspective of another sport. You can put it in the perspective of this sport.
You're the one who brought up Mike Eruzione, though.
Well, that's because I brought it up because of the commercials and the miracle.
Okay, but
element.
still, that would be when you talk about that. That's like there's no freaking way that team of college kids is beating that group of ridiculously
that's the most
good pros.
improbable thing. It wouldn't be that.
This is nothing like that.
No. But it's a upstart team without a lot of history who's never been that far against, one of the best teams that underachieved for a long time, that have broken through, won Euros, won World Cup, and has a generational young player now, 17-year-old who's going to be around forever.
What's his name?
Lial Yamin.
I'm scouting. Okay, yeah, we know the history is they're hugely lopsided. Yeah, just from what you've seen, the quality of the players on the pitch. When the U.S. is playing the way it is played in this tournament with some of these guys who have emerged here.
In those first 2 games, we played with a precision and an aggressiveness that I think anybody would fear and worry about. Last night, not there. I mean, you play like you played last night against a premier European team, you're going to get smoked. But you play like you played in the first 2 games against those teams, and I think you could get them on their heels some. But like Weston McKennie, who was our best player, one of the 2 players that was left over from the first 2 games, last night, not surrounded by the rest of the good guys, starts making careless passes, and you're wondering what he's doing. Well, you make one of those passes against Spain, and it's a goal. Automatically the other way. You just can't get away with those kind of mistakes. It's that meticulous and precise and technical.
And again, the better player is going to be playing. So it doesn't mean they won't make those mistakes, but these mistakes were largely made by guys we're not going to see.
Yes.
If they get well, of course, who knows? At that point, you may have injuries, yellow cards, whatever, but it's a different team.
And if the U.S. puts this is, best case scenario, but the U.S. gets on the front foot, gets a goal ahead of Spain or something, a team like Spain or whoever is capable of being like, what the F is going on here? This can't happen against those teams. The coach makes a weird sub. European and South American teams will take a guy off early that you think like, how could they take that guy off the field? And then there's some questions and some infighting. It's kind of the nature of the game. And if we stay composed and let them start to question themselves, some of that mentality starts to happen.
It's just like, NCAA tournament, 15 against a 2. Middle Tennessee against Michigan State. There's a
Right.
game. Okay, that was a shocker. That's a 15 against a 2. Compare that to us, since you're using we, beating Spain.
I use we on U.S. stuff. I'm an American.
Okay.
Right? I think it's reasonable.
I struggle with it because I'm anti-we. I'm anti-we, except when I talk about like my Detroit teams when we're good. If we win, like we
Now,
is
see,
the bad
you
boys.
shouldn't be able to say we for Detroit because you're a Golden State fan. I mean, the Knicks are more we for me than Detroit is for you because I've never rooted for another NBA team.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, give me. So 15-2, a shocker in the NCAA tournament. One time. Compare that to us beating Spain.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably in line, something like that.
Okay.
But not in the sake of this tournament. I mean, if you both get to the round of 8,
Yeah. I mean, we're good.
It's not
we are good.
It's not the first round. It's not a 15-2 in the first round. It's comparable, maybe separation, but it's deep in the tournament.
It'd be like a 1 seed, but it still could be like a 1 seed playing a lower seed that already had some upsets or something like that. A 1 playing an 8.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's what it would be. That it would be the one,
Well,
the best team in the 8 versus the worst team in the
there you go.
conceivable.
All right. So we have hit on soccer. We've hit on Mad Men. We've hit on Yacht Rock. We can do all that. And if you guys, some people still send me some CPAP stuff too. But we are going to talk Tennessee Titans next. Robby and Rexrode 125 the game. Oh, baby. Welcome back, Robby Rexrode, 125 The Game. I will say I'm actually a little bit also offended when people say, like, this is yacht rock. Again, I love yacht rock. But, I mean, like, this is – I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, that's Steely Dan Hey 19.
My Alt 22 group is big yacht rock fans. I'm going to poll them right now.
If Steely Dan should qualify, should be considered, yeah. And I understand the criteria and why they are. It's just like they are – if they are yacht rock, they are the far and away kings.
Top.
Yeah. As much as we all love Michael McDonald and the Dewey Brothers, by the way. But, all right. Titans, PK. I've got
do you know?
Great idea.
I have
a great idea.
I have to ask you if you know this story about George Plaster.
I don't.
And the Doobie Brothers.
No.
So
was he on the tour bus?
No. He had seen Ian. Do you know?
Oh, I know about this.
Puff, give, Michael.
He had seen Michael McDonald in concert the night before.
Okay.
And he was raving about the concert.
Nice.
Raving about the concert on the air. And a guy called in and said, "This is Michael McDonald." He was driving home. He's a Nashvilleian, right? Or was. And
did not know that either.
So he's talking. He's got him going for like 5 minutes. And George is just gushing about the performance and everything. And this guy's setting him up. Says, would you like me to sing a few lines, George? It's like, oh, my gosh.
Come on.
That'd just be, that would be the most cotton picking greatest thing I ever heard. I mean, yeah, please. And the guy just, you don't know me, but I'm your brother. I don't even know if George got it, but Chad and Willie finally just call the whole thing off. But I mean, he had him going for.
So who did it?
It's just a random guy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell it was one of the people at the station.
No, I mean, had him going for 5 minutes. It was just like.
So did George conclude? Like by the time the call ended, was he like, that was fake?
I'm not positive even at the singing. Do you know this, Ian? At the singing, was he finally convinced, or did his people have to be like, George, come on?
I want to say his people had to tell him
that it was scam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an all-time classic, Nashville radio.
You got him pretty good.
How far we've grown.
That's fantastic. Also, it's amazing that we're almost done with the first hour, and I cannot get you to talk about the Titans. Like, you are diverting.
I'm so diverse.
I know. All right, try this now. I got a Mount Rushmore topic for you, PK. A Mount Rushmore topic, okay? Which is inspired by you, because the other day we talked about the 4 people that are the Mount Rushmore of getting us.
Two-Face
right?
J-Rob. Who was on this? Amy.
Amy ran. Two-Face J-Rob and
Callahan
and Brian.
I think,
C.
Yeah, I think that was
okay. Yeah.
I got some grief online for not including Rustin Webster.
Yeah,
but
that's
so far
a different
removed.
era.
So
that's
far
a different
removed.
era. That you can't. Yeah, I'm talking about the
State
where they
there
are
now.
now. Rustin's stuff doesn't
Too far
matter
removed.
anymore.
Yeah, they had gone up after
They'd
that
gone
already
up
and then back down.
This is from the up they were. They're down. But here we go. Your Mount Rushmore, because it's the summer. We do Mount Rushmores. The 4 people in this organization, it could be the chef if you want, strength coach, whatever, in this organization who give you the most hope of a turnaround, okay? 4 people, the Mount Rushmore of hope for the Tennessee Titans.
We ready for this now?
I mean, I've got my answers. So if you need a minute,
number one,
take a minute.
Number 1 is Mike Borgonzi.
Okay, I've got him on mine too.
Number 2 is Cameron Ward.
Okay, I do not have him on mine.
That's crazy. Number 3 is Robert Saleh, but I would like to include him like with staff. But if I can't include him with staff, I hate to include so few players. But if you won't give me Saleh with staff, will you give me Saleh with staff? Or it has to be individual? I think Saleh with staff is kind of cheating. So if I can't do Saleh with staff,
separate.
Then I'm doing Dable.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3.
Oh, I said
Oh, no, you have
Borgo
Cam.
Cam.
Okay.
Now, let's get this Dable straight. Is it Dable rhymes with table?
Yes. That's what he said.
He said that?
Yeah.
All right. I got to do better with that.
I think he said it with you in present. I could be wrong, but I think so.
Well, I heard him say it when he was at Alabama.
Table, like table?
Mhm.
Okay. So maybe we played that, but I thought it was Titans. Okay. So let me make sure I'm saying give you optimism that there will be a turnaround. Okay. So I think hope and optimism are a little different. So just to be clear, because I'm explaining. So here's mine: Borgonzi, Salah, Dable, Jeffrey Simmons. Those are my four. Okay. Jeffrey Simmons is their best player. He's a great player. Perhaps, he is a game wrecker extraordinaire, the next couple of years and is a big part. Honorable mention, I have Cam Ward. I have Carnell Tate. There's a lot of
honorable mentions.
But here's the thing.
Have you ever been to Mount Rushmore, seen pictures?
I mean, I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
I
don't think there's an honorable mention like carving.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the thing. We're going to do another Mount Rushmore, PK.
Yeah.
To get excited.
I've got that one ready.
That's the Mount Rushmore of people who give you pause that they will actually get out of the gutter and start coming around and becoming a competitive, respectable team. Because the thing is, I think that Cam Ward could be on both of those.
I've got some
right?
overlap.
You've got some overlap. Okay. How about that? Well, that's basically what I was trying to get at. Now, I think even on this hope/optimism, there are questions, right? There's certainly questions about Salah. I mean, it's a bad record, right? Like, yes, I would he's on mine, but it's with a bit of a side eye. Dable, I think that's more of an optimism thing for me, is Dable. It's the most important hire Robert Saleh made, and he has demonstrated high level of success at the job he's doing now. Unlike Saleh, the job he's doing now, he's demonstrated a high level of success. Unlike Saleh, unlike Borgonzi, I'm with you. There's good signs, but this is it. We're finding out with him. And then again, to me, Simmons. I mean, Cam, it just kind of depends on your perspective on Cam, which I think you're one of those people who, you probably have him on both then. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah.
I mean, you're saying most hope. If things are going to go well, things are going to have to go well for Cam.
Yes, no question. But see, that's why I shouldn't have said hope from the beginning. It's optimism. It's optimism, Mount Rushmore, and it's pessimism, Mount Rushmore, which really does mean that Cam is an automatic on both. So think about that. We have a lot of reaction, but in the meantime, for those of you reacting, think about that. I got someone saying bones. So someone throwing out bones. It's just like, how much can special teams? How much can a special teams coach? He's good. His press conferences are freaking amazing. How much can a special teams coach really mean? Now, granted, we know it can be bad there with your favorite guy there.
I think the bones as a new factor happened already. Like, he can't give them the kind of jolt he gave them last year. That's now present.
Yeah. Okay. So when we come back, we'll flip it around on what gives you the most pause/pessimism about a Titans turnaround. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Second hour, Robby and Rexrode here on 102.5 The Game, Friday edition. PK in for Robbie Stanley, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. The Robby and Rexrode program is presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Get thicker grass, better color, and fewer bare spots with turf application. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We're talking the Tennessee Titans finally. Although, again, PK, if you'd like to drift back into Mad Men, Yacht Rock, CPAP,
My friend,
USMNT, that we can do that.
my friend Alex Keltner of the Paul Kuharsky starting 22 says
He's a
that-
starting 22, man.
he says that, and we talk a lot of yacht rock in here. These guys talk a lot of yacht rock.
Okay.
And he says that Steely Dan is one of the bands he references when explaining yacht rock. So he for sure says they're in.
Yeah, look, again,
What kind of things are discussed about yacht rock?
you got to watch the doc. You really do.
This is a YouTube doc.
He said it was HBO Max.
It sounds like it's on HBO Max, Hulu.
That
I
makes
think you can
sense.
find it on YouTube.
That makes sense. It's HBO Max. Yeah, it's great. But it's like the people who basically created the term and probably trademarked it and did the show and they have set criteria on what qualifies and what doesn't as yacht rock. And yes, Steely Dan does, much to Steely Dan's chagrin.
Oh, they qualify.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the point, is that they called him to try to be on the dock, and he was basically like, go
This
fart
is
yourself.
Fagan?
Yeah. Yeah, Fagan is great musician. Love his music.
Recluse
Seems
and angry.
like a bit of a curmudgeon, if I'm being kind. So, but yeah, Steely Dan absolutely is yacht rock. But again,
Is there a number one criteria in your book to be yacht rock? Like, is it a type or is it a sound?
Yeah,
I think the number
instruments that are being used.
Gotcha.
the
is a
number
big
one
part of it.
criteria is it has to play well when you're out on your yacht.
That is true.
I mean,
that
there's certain
limits how
music
many
if you're
people-
on the yacht and everyone goes, no, get this off.
If you're wearing a cap,
Then you're not yacht rock.
if you're wearing a captain's hat and you've got some champagne and a cigar,
Right.
and you're chilling,
And you say, turn that off.
yeah, you're not going to
Then
play
you're not yacht
like I love Pixies or Foo Fighters. You're not playing that. You're playing
Toto.
Michael McDonald. Yeah, Africa by Toto. Exactly. Yacht rock.
I got to watch.
Or Baby Come Back. That's a great one.
I
Yeah,
have to watch
it's
this. The
really
problem
good.
is, I
It's
have
really
to say
good.
this. The problem is, I can't watch anything but soccer right now. Like, I don't even know what the Yankees are doing. They've been completely set aside.
So you're watching all these matches.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of it too. But that's that's good. You can it'll be there for you. It'll be there.
This is one of those, like, already, and it's only about half done. I'm preparing for the crash. Like, I'm like, my God, when this is over, what am I going to do with myself?
Well, that's the thing. When we play for the championship on July 19th, you're
Oh,
like
my
a
God.
week out from training camp. Boom.
Oh, please.
Hey, I'm keeping an open mind, man. I'm keeping an open mind. I am. With my limited soccer knowledge.
You need a shirt. Get yourself a shirt.
Okay, I'll get one. By
He
the way,
looked down. I said, you need a shirt. And he looked
Oh,
down
do I
at
have a
his,
stain on here?
at his Dooley's East Lansing shirt.
Dooley's East Lansing doesn't exist anymore. What used to be my favorite bar. U2 played there in 1979. U2 played Spartan Stadium in 2011, and Bono's like, "Is Mr. Dooley still around?" I'm not kidding you. Said that to
My college gang, one of my friends, Kieran, worked for McShane's Plumbing out on Long Island where he lived one summer or something. And he had the greatest shirt. It was McShane's Plumbing. It had a toilet on it. It said, "We keep your plumbing humming." And we were all like, we must have these shirts. You got to get McShane to give you these shirts. We will spread the gospel of McShane's Plumbing all over the country.
Free ads.
And we never got them. And we still talk about all the time how McShane screwed us.
But they
Wouldn't give us
they
these.
just got a free ad
Sure.
here, as did Dooley. So
I
that
don't
doesn't
know if
exist.
McShane has passed it on to his boys or if it folded up.
Interesting. Jason Gillisville, Christopher Cross, absolutely. Sailing, that is yacht rock.
That might be
that is
the
absolutely yacht
lead
rock.
song.
Yeah, I mean, he actually wears a captain hat in like a video.
When you
and it's
sail
sailing.
out,
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
that's
song.
pretty
that you
much.
should-
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Titans. We have talked about, again, I made it a Mount Rushmore to make fun of talk radio in the summer, but the four people who give you the most optimism. I went Borgonzi, Salah, Dable, Simmons. You went Borgonzi,
Cam,
Salah,
Dable.
Dable, Cam. Okay. So now the people who give you the most pause, that make you think they just might not get out of this, right? I mean, there are a lot of fan bases around the NFL who would start with the person, of course, is on this, Amy Adams Strunk, right?
Cosign.
Is she going to do something to derail things? I mean, it's a fair question to ask until she stops doing that. And
for a long period of time.
Right. Okay, so for me, my next one, I'm going J.C. Latham because I just think that if that fails, if he fails, you are in a real pickle with both tackles needing to be addressed. It just, to get out of this, you have to hit on some picks, and it's possible they could hit on 4 straight first rounders. It's possible. And again, I'm talking about the last 2 plus Latham, Kuharsky. But Latham's a big, big question mark. And to me, if he doesn't solidify himself as a starter, as a second contract guy, again, you are tackleless for the future. And then it cuts into other things that you really need to address in order to get yourself actually competitive.
Right. You already need a left. If you need a right, it really just sets you back.
I mean, I think he's the most important non-cam player on the team this year. My third is Femi Oladejo. Now, can they, if Falk ends up being really good, okay, then that minimizes that. The Titans' last rise happened with Kevin Dodd as a complete zero, as a second-round pick, and they were fine. It happens. But it's still not a good thing if a second-round pick fails that much in a similar fashion. And there are other challenges that this era right now has that one didn't. So I'm going there. And then I've got Cam. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Warder you're doing, okay? But I'm also not a Cam do. I'm a Cambivalent. I'm switching to Cambivalent. Thank you, Dennis. Shout out to Dennis. But I just, right now, he is just a little bit more on the giving pause to me than he is on the optimism to me. And this season is going to dictate that.
I like what you did there very much. I think that's a very good 4. I went Cam, Amy first. Cam, who I put on both lists. As Cam goes, so goes the season, so goes the team. Offensive line, I felt compelled to pick a representative. And I like your Latham, but I picked Austin Schlottman as a representative of center / right guard. So but
that's kind of short term, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, they don't have a lot invested in him. I mean, it could screw up this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of looking for at least one solution in there, right? But I think Latham's a better choice. But if they could lock down one guy in the middle there and reduce it to one need, I mean, hell, if you're talking Latham and Schlottman or Volson or Slater don't pan out, you're looking for 3-4 starters next year. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of faith in Brasillo. I've talked to a lot of people about Brasillo and they really love him. But, I mean, and he's an up-and-comer. He's still, there's more career coming than there has been.
Compare your optimism about him, seriously, right now
exactly.
to Bill Callahan. It still doesn't
Bill
match
Callahan
it, right?
Was a giant get.
Giant.
So, have to be skeptical. But my fourth concern, and people aren't going to like this, is Robert Saleh. He's a good coach. He's a great coordinator. And the Jets were a messed up situation, but he did not win football games. He has not won football games. And I think, we're caught up in the moment. It's the offseason excitement and all that. And he sounds good. And I think he's a really good guy, really solid guy, and a very solid defensive mind. But he had not, no matter how bad the circumstances were with the Jets, unlocked a winning formula. Could have won more with the Jets. He didn't have to win a lot, but he could have won more. And I'm a little scared of, does he know how as a head coach to unlock what it takes to win football?
No, that's good. I kind of regret not having him on both too, because I have him on the optimism. He really should be on both. And yeah, there was some things we've talked about it many times, but you're worried. You're worried about stuff that just doesn't matter at all. It really does. You just need to do your job, and he's way too worried about that stuff. And I understand how. I'm sure. I don't understand it, but I'm sure.
What do you think he's worried about? That doesn't matter.
Well, the media crap, trying to figure out, who's the mole and all this stuff. It's come on, man.
Well, that's not then here.
No.
So,
I'm saying with the Jets, but
right.
that is one of those things that you look at and say, you hope you learn from that.
Yeah.
But then also I'm out here and some of these restrictions now, on media, and it's like,
I don't think that's him. I mean, I don't think he.
But he could
resisted
change it.
I don't think he resisted it, but I think it's Borgonzi.
That's a Borgonzi thing.
Yeah, and let's talk about it again. I don't know if I brought it up here after these practices, but and if I did, I'll repeat myself. They're predominantly on the far field, if people know it, because the near field was under construction. All right, there was one practice where 2 plays were made in the left corner, and we could only be at the 50-yard line. Then players are standing on the sideline in front of us. We found out, the media collectively, 1 touchdown thrown into that left corner from a PR guy who was standing down there, who had to text another PR guy. So we found out a touchdown score via text. And then another one, really unknown. I was walking in, and there were 2 Titans who I did not recognize off a 90-man roster, which is going to happen. And I said, hey, did you guys see who scored that last touchdown? They said, oh, yeah, it was Hank Beatty. Or Hank Beatty. I don't know if it's Beatty or Beatty. So I'm out there for a living, watching a 2-hour practice. And to find out what happened, I need to text with the PR guy and ask players. So, I mean, it's reporting. But to report on the practice, I need to send texts and interview players to find out who scored touchdown. It's just a stupid, dumb setup.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. If you think I'm whining, yeah, I'm whining. I'm out there to see practice. Put me in a place where I can see practice.
Yeah, it's to me it goes against what the NFL has led the way, and yes, access is our friend. Because if you want to dominate the news cycle at all times, you want people to have incentive to go to practice and watch it because they actually see something and get any sort of information or insight. And you want them to be able to talk to people and talk to different people, build relationships, be able to tell stories, whatever. I mean, I know it goes on and on. It's like if they're bad, then the fans will agree, and if they're good, fans are like, yeah, cut them out. But it's silly, and we also have PK multiple requests here. We have a Mount Rushmore of the worst Titans of all time. You think about that one. And Taylor in Bellevue needs a Mount Rushmore of yacht rock songs before the end of the show. So I think we can produce that for you. We come back. We'll keep going on the Titans. Reasons for optimism and pessimism. 102.5 The Game. Robby and Rexrode. Oh, hell yeah. Welcome back, Robby Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Now, can you name this band, PK? What an absolute yacht rock jam.
I don't have it.
Anyone?
But I'm proud to not know some yacht rock. I will say that.
That is Starbuck with Moonlight Feels Right, which I believe has the best xylophone solo in music history. So check out the whole
proud
song.
not to know a song that would include the best xylophone.
I mean, they are rocking the xylophone in that one. That's a great song. Thank you, Ian. Welcome back in. People are asking for Mount Rushmore's just galore now, which is great.
I like it.
This turns into the Mount Rushmore show.
I've got 4 worst off the top of my head.
Although I do have someone who said PK and Joe better start fighting or I'm out of here. The problem is when Robby is here and runs the program, I can focus on ripping you. But when I have to be microphone 1, for example, today the Nashville Sounds take on the Gwinnett Stripers at First Horizon Park. First pitch, 6:35. Catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Mad Fireworks, and Social Cantina. Gwinnett, AAA affiliate, Atlanta Braves. See, I have to do things. I have to be responsible. And I just, it's harder to rip on you.
Also, yesterday I tweeted about being in a good mood. Like, I'm working on my courses.
I saw that. You're like, life is good. I'm like, what is happening with this guy?
I went for a walk.
I thought maybe you
scooting.
maybe you took a couple puffs off.
Listen to some new music. I don't do that. Watch some soccer. Had a big church event. My kid finished up his intensive month of baseball. Going to go watch him play this afternoon and put some of that stuff to work. Things are pretty good right now. Outside of me being fat and anticipating my own CPAP machine.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you, it's
you and I could do the CPAP Chronicles. Hey, listen, anybody who wants to sponsor a blog, a pod.
CPAP pod?
I mean, Stilly and Paulie have been talking about that again, but the CPAP Chronicles could be magic.
That could be.
We could do them talking from underneath our CPAP machine. So a Mount Rushmore of the worst Titans ever. I mean, that could be some compelling. We need a CPAP sponsor.
Watch that microphone.
Yeah, I need a soda, by the way.
Last night. Okay, I got you. Next break. Last night I was wearing my mask, to get ready and to get used to it. And so I was like, Katie, we're watching the soccer.
Darth Nihilus.
We're watching the soccer game, and Katie's like asking me questions. I'm like, yeah. So
what did she think of the whole experience? The slobber.
Well, that was my.
I think you got to keep a towel or a bucket near the bed. The CPAP bucket. You like that, Ian?
Sounds gross.
I think I need a bucket that has a fire.
And then, Caroline, clear the bucket. Did you do your chores? Oh, yeah, I took out the garbage and I cleaned up around the same. But what about the CPAP bucket?
One more on the list.
Dad, I'm not clearing the CPAP bucket.
That sounds just awful. By the way, a texter says that's a marimba solo. That's a marimba? Are you sure?
No, you're marimba.
Chris says that's one of the best songs of my life, and I'm so on point with the xylophone. It is a xylophone. Does a marimba sound like a xylophone?
Somebody do some research.
We are learning
Get
a
the
lot
research
on this
department
show.
on this.
All right, give me your Mount Rushmore, the worst Titans ever.
All right, this is just off the top of my head. And look, Isaiah Wilson absolutely has to be on there. He played 4 snaps. They weren't a good 4 snaps. Those 4 offensive snaps. And I immortalized a point after snap where he was put flat on his ass.
That was an Indy, wasn't it? Was that an Indy?
I ever captured. I'm not sure. You think
Isaiah Wilson's got to be on there.
You think that Dennis Daly might be here. You think that Andre Dillard might be here. If you not remember Will Svitek, who was put one-on-one with J.J. Watt by Ken Wisenhunt, that is the pinnacle.
But it's kind of unfair, right? Like, he was made to look probably worse than he is, right? By just terrible coaching.
You are your situation. Will Svitek is the worst offensive lineman who ever played snaps.
That game combined with Jeremiah Patasi was awful.
And it got Ken Wisenhunt fired. Now I get a little bit more personal. Blady Ray Wilson, just on the Andy Dalton play alone with TJ Hushmanzada.
Okay, explain it. Explain it to the listener.
It was, they gave the ball to Hushmanzada to throw it to Dalton, and Billy Ray Wilson had two options in Cincinnati to either intercept the ball or destroy Andy Dalton. He got caught in between both, and so it turned into Andy Dalton touchdown. It was absolutely, he had so little ball awareness, but he actually had like a maybe 6-7 year career. But it was a testament to the thinness of defensive backs in the league. And maybe my personal least favorite player ever was Antonio Andrews, who just was not an NFL running back, and they insisted on playing as a lead NFL running back. He was slow. He had no vision. He had no playing personality. He had no personality. He was the most miscast guy, and they somehow insisted on giving him the ball. He was awful. This was at a time where they just
Bishop Sankey
were not Bishop Sankey made Antonio Andrews. Antonio Andrews made Bishop Sankey look like a second round pick. Antonio Andrews was just I don't know what they were thinking.
Another Wisenhunt special.
Yeah,
I got votes for Mettenberg, Locker, Snead.
Snead is a quality NFL player who's at the end of his rope.
Yeah, and he'll probably be good again now. Vic Beasley is not a bad choice.
Here's the thing I heard about Vic Beasley.
Bad Titan.
I give Vic Beasley a little bit of a pass. Here's why. And Vic Beasley was terrible.
But he was good.
Jonathan Joseph was terrible, but Vic Beasley played good NFL football. And I heard after the fact that Vic Beasley, and I'm not sympathetic to this kind of stuff, but you have to put it in the mix. Vic Beasley, his head was really messed up by the COVID stuff. And I think there are some guys in the league that, like, when that thing came out, they didn't really understand it. The protocols freaked them out. They had somebody that was sick in their family that they were worried about, and they just kind of pulled back, and they were like, this whole thing is just like, I'm not really that excited about football right now, given all of the circumstances. And I heard from somebody that I trust who was involved with him that COVID really effed with Vic Beasley.
Okay. Kevin Dodd is another.
Kevin Dodd is
another, certainly. And we've already talked about him multiple times. Chris Henry, Dennis is throwing out there.
Terrible. I mean, we could spend a whole show just throwing out terrible
Let's
Titans.
Talk terrible Titans.
Cody Sensabaugh. I've got a Lamont Thompson. I mean, Lamont Thompson was okay for a year or two, and then he became just atrocious. And I kept asking Jim Schwartz, like, why are you playing this guy? There's got to be something better. And he's like, he's your white whale, huh? And I was like, yeah, I just can't stand him. And there was no accountability with Lamont Thompson. Like, other guys just got yelled. Deron Jenkins, who could be on this list, and Perry Phoenix, they just called them dumb and they rode him. And Lamont Thompson just was like, happy, go easy. And nobody ever said anything. He's just like, fine.
Keep weighing in with your worst Titans ever. There's so many different Mount Rushmores we're working with today. You can hit any of them. We will get to the Yacht Rock one. But coming up next, PK wants to talk a little Caitlin Clark. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Oh, yeah.
Woo! Let's get down. The thing that's missing from this yacht rock for all of us is the yacht.
I know, we need a yacht. But just like Christopher Cross, there he is, a godfather of yacht rock himself. Welcome back, Robby Rexrode, 125 The Game. Tennessee Brew Works is the official craft beer of the football offseason coverage on ESPN 1025 The Game. Raise a glass with Tennessee Brew Works, proud partner and official craft beer of the football offseason coverage.
I don't know enough people with yachts. And my All-22 group, for a long time, we had a guy that didn't work out early who talked a lot of smack like he had a jet. And we were going to jet off to like go see a game at Wrigley or something like that. So now
Jet rock.
On the occasion that we have an opening and I bring somebody new in, the first thing everybody asks is, do you have a jet? And we keep striking out. No jets.
Well, yeah, hopefully someone get in there. I mean, apparently you have
I have an opening. If you have a jet, let's talk.
A jet, a yacht. You just got a long text from someone who gave you all the yacht rock
some names I don't know.
Players. Well, he just played. He played. Baby, come back.
I know the player. Birdie Higgins. I don't know.
I don't know that.
Rupert Holmes.
Yeah. Rupert Holmes has Escape, Pina Colada song.
Okay. Firefall. Paul Davis.
Yeah, Paul. Cool night.
Bob Welch.
Yeah.
Gave up some homers to Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, but different Bob Welch. But
Ace.
Yes.
Now he would include Hall and Oates, my expert.
So if you watch the Yacht Rock,
are they in or out?
I believe they don't qualify. I don't remember why.
Now Hall and Oates,
Hall and Oates is my Twitter account has the Hall and Oates helpline where you just call the number and they'll play a Hall and Oates song to make you feel good.
Is that right?
Yes.
Why don't they qualify?
I don't remember. Yeah, there is some technicality. I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe Hall and Oates is on the other side, just like Fleetwood Mac. There's some of those bands that
I think Fleetwood Mac absolutely not.
They
just
don't check
class.
all the boxes. Yeah. So, but
Fleetwood Mac is one of the 5 best American bands. I think if you're that high ranking, top 10 for sure. If you're that high ranking, you're above Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
No offense to Yacht Rock, but I think their quality of that height takes you out of this field.
You say that, and I, in my opinion, I put Steely Dan up with the best.
No, I think Steely Dan's top 10, but I don't think Steely Dan's Yacht Rock. I oppose Steely Dan as Yacht Rock.
I mean, most of Yacht Rock is like more one-hit wonder range type stuff, or 2-3 hit wonder type stuff.
And there's a little soft rockiness to it.
Oh yeah,
not in a bad way.
Right. I mean, Kenny Loggins is absolutely.
But Fleetwood Mac's not soft rock. The Chain is not soft rock.
Right. The texter here says, "What a fool believes." Yeah, that might be the best Yacht Rock song. That's on my Mount. Spoiler alert! Before the show ends, that will absolutely be on the Mount Rushmore of Yacht Rock songs. "What a Fool Believes" by the Doobie Brothers. "Ebony Eyes" is a Bob Welch song.
I only wish that
Chip from Mount Juliet.
I only wish that Michael McDonald had chose to sing "What a Fool Believes" for George Plaster instead of "You Don't Know Me, You're My Brother." What is that? "You Don't Know Me, You're My Brother."
You're my brother.
What's the song?
Taking it to the street.
Taking it to the street.
Suggested this topic, and we haven't really hit on it, and I'm kind of watching from afar, and it's every year. It kind of feels like the same thing now. But Caitlin Clark, for one thing, the poster thing has been, for people who aren't following along, there's this huge poster, 30 years WNBA, and she's not on it. And people
a lot of other big players are not on
Diana Taurasi, not on it. Candace Parker, not on it. And apparently there's a licensing thing, but I know what you're going to say. If that's the case, then, again, you look stupid as a league when you put out a poster with all these key players, including Caitlin Clark, who are not on it.
Get out in front of it.
Right.
Just say, here's our poster, but it had limitations based on whatever. Or don't put out a poster. If you're putting out an anniversary poster and it doesn't include Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark and several other big-time people, is it worth putting out?
Right. Or just put it out just with Lisa Leslie on it or something. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's on it who is one of the, because there's a lot of marginal players on there. But the new Caitlin Clark, we continue to have this screaming. Unfortunately, it's also totally baked into the culture war stuff. And it's I have generally been against the sentiment of she has helped your league do so much, so no one should ever touch her. I feel like, other players, it's foul someone hard. Hey, rookie, like, they're competitors. They're trying to win a championship. I made the comparison. Bird and Magic completely saved the NBA. It was on tape delay NBA Finals. They saved the NBA before Michael Jordan was even in college. Did they come in the league and be able to say, oh, thank you, Magic. Here you go. Larry, have a open shot. We won't touch you. No, they beat their ass. Dr. J tried to kill Larry Bird. Great. It's competitors. It's sports. Now, I do feel like the league, there's some fair criticism. Like the other day, she got hit. I don't know if it was really a punch in the throat. I think it gets a little exaggerated. But it does seem like the league is trying a little too hard to not be in her corner, or maybe not punish people enough when they do things. I mean, I think there's some fair criticism there about just how the league has approached it.
She got a
not other players, though.
She got a technical the other day for when there was kind of a scrum with some pushing and some stuff that needed to be sorted out by refs. And she kind of turned away from the play and clapped 4 times to the crowd, like to get the crowd riled up or whatever. And they called that like instigating. I mean, that is such horse bleep. And it seems to me, I agree with you. Like, look, I think the NBA goes far too far the other way.
Star protection?
Yeah. Wemby, gets every call, and their favorable guys get every call. And I don't want that for Caitlin Clark, but it seems to me they're going the opposite direction. They're like, this star has come in and she's helped the league immensely, and we're going to make it clear that we're not favoring her in any way. She brings in 1/4 of the money of the league. I've read, based on merchandising, ticket sales. They play games in bigger arenas when she's playing. The ratings are double when she's playing, and they just don't seem eager to strike any kind of balance that acknowledges her effect on the league. I don't want special rules for her, but you have to acknowledge that she is a special feature of the league, and they seem really determined to go the other way.
Yeah.
I
think
she
they
at
could
some
do more
point
from a
has
marketing perspective.
And she doesn't want to appear to be a jerk, but like if she took her ball and went home, they would be in the gutter. And I like that she's speaking out a little bit more. Also,
there are other players that moved into. You're right. She is a phenomenon. I mean, Paige Becker's coming to the league. Oh my gosh, the kid from Notre Dame is unbelievable this year. Olivia
Miles.
Yes, thank you. She's been like, I think that she has helped bring eyeballs, but it's almost like, think about like a subscription business, which you own one. I also think that like the idea that if she left, it just goes back to what it was. I disagree with you.
She's my only interest in the league, pretty much. And
there's some people that will be true. It will not die. Women's basketball, North Star's coming. Wait till Juju Watkins comes from USA. Like it's fun. There's a lot of great players with a lot of skill. So it's not going to die. But yeah, she certainly was a phenomenon. And some people are like that and just want to watch her.
And my feed is loaded with people breaking down what's happening to her, all of these foul incidents, and the Stephanie White thing. Why is Stephanie White still the coach of that team? You remember when Will Levis threw the 4 touchdowns and Vrabel didn't mention his name and everybody made a huge thing out of it? This happens regularly with Stephanie White. They go through they film her locker room things, and she like touts everybody name by name and goes through things.
Well,
and then she casually mentions Caitlin Clark. Like, what is that about?
Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I mean, if you saw that huddle where she tried the huddle, I mean, look, Caitlin Clark went at her hard and so, I mean, if you're the coach, you're trying to be in charge of that team. I don't think that they get along.
Well,
I can't look at that clip and think they get along. And I'll tell you another thing on Caitlin Clark. She's a great player. I love watching her, and yeah, some of this stuff is unfair. She's with the refs in that league, and she probably has fair criticism. I mean, that clapping thing. I'm not trying to say she's Draymond Green, but Draymond Green gets technicals for raising his eyebrow now, right? He has a reputation. She's building that, and she is earning some of that.
Some.
with how she comes at them. She is earning some of it.
I don't like that in the NBA, players control the coaches and all of that. But I think Stephanie White's out of her depth here. And I also think they made a mistake. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You'll know more about this than I am. But Caitlin Clark had the ball in her hands last year, right? She was the point guard. And they went and drafted a point guard who now has the ball in her hands and made Clark off ball. It doesn't seem to be working. They're better when she is pushing the ball up court. She's got incredible vision to set people up. And when she gets the ball back, she's cleared to shoot. It doesn't seem to be working as a team building strategy. Where is the criticism of the GM who made that decision? And where is the coach adjusting to that not really working very well?
I was 100% in the camp of that's what needs to happen, because she's taken such a beating with the ball in her hands. And if you think about Steph Curry, people think of him as a point guard. He's a great passer. But most of what Steph Curry does is as a two guard. He's running off screens. He gets shots. That's what I thought they needed to do to give her to one, again, so she's not constantly being banged with the ball in her hands. That just wears you down so you can make shots in the fourth quarter. So I thought, well, it doesn't look like it's working as well as hope. But I think the strategy makes sense, and they may need to find some balance there. But, I mean, her shooting percentage has not been great in the WNBA from three, like 33% or whatever. It should be better than that. So to me, she needs more catch and shoot than she has been. So
I agree with that. But I need to see a coach that loves the best player in the league and the marquee player in the league. And it looks to me like Stephanie White hates her. And I just don't see how that's healthy for the team, for the league, for anything. Stephanie White should have been fired during this season. What are they waiting?
She may still be. I mean, that you know how this I promise you this will work just like any other league. The coach who butts heads with a star player, it's not the star player who's going to end up.
Well, how
suffering.
far back do we have to go to find Stephanie White real success? She didn't have it here.
Yeah, she won a championship with them before here. That was with
We're going back quite a way.
You're going back a decade. Yeah,
she rubs me really the wrong way. I don't understand how you mismanage a team, mismanage the league. I mean, this is not a hard thing to get right. And they're getting it wrong on a lot of levels. Feature your best player. League, feature the best player. Team, feature the best player. Make her happy and help her succeed. That's not a difficult formula.
That sounded like a rant, but when we come back, we'll come up with another one. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
Why are people still saying stupid crap like this?
And I screwed two buddies in Vegas.
Also nicknamed Dr. Sex.
Roger Clemens is in George Steinbrenner's box. I can't believe it. The man's sitting in a box. Oh, my God. Love ball, love ball, love ball.
3 idiots in the front office are like coked up. Shoot me up, baby. Let's go. Okay.
Drake May's probably better than Will Levis.
Get out of here, Mayo boy.
I proceeded to spend the day in the bathroom or asleep.
Hey, guys, you guys need a plumber?
If I did, I would have washed my hands, I assure you.
Like, it's just the decline of society.
Society is falling apart.
I'm absolutely going Mason Rudolph over Drake May. Gosh, you got to have context on these things. The Rex Rant brought to you by Rapid Response Generators. Power when it matters most and served by the Wine Cellar in Hendersonville. The context.
Why did you like Levis over May? You can't even remember the context.
No, you're the one. Well, you're the one in that clip that was like, well, I mean, Levis, May might be better than Levis, I guess, right? That was you.
No,
I
said, I'm absolutely going Levis over Drake May. Those are the words that came out of your mouth.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard.
I said Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. I'm sorry,
Yes.
even worse.
Right. The point was as the backup quarterback because he was a veteran and Drake May was a rookie.
Still. Oh, that fixes everything.
You got to understand the proper context. I don't even know what we should talk about here. I mean,
you're supposed to have a rant, aren't you?
Well, I thought you're supposed to have a rant.
I was not assigned a rant.
You
You don't have the power to.
You kind of just had a rant. I will follow up on this, because this is where I think people go a little far. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna project right now that, for example, the kid here at Vanderbilt who just finished her sophomore year, when she gets to the WNBA, people are going to want to watch her play. She's going to be incredible. She's going to be electric. The sport of women's basketball is soaring. Is Caitlin Clark at the front of that? Absolutely. Someone texted me that, well, she is the reason, right? And again, I give her the most credit. You said yourself, you're a person who you just try to seek her out. That's fine. Like this texter says, if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'm going to go overseas, play basketball, sit back and watch the WNBA become irrelevant again because they basically push out the most popular player of all time. That's the part that I disagree with. I do not think that the WNBA is going to be irrelevant. I think there are future stars. At some point, she's going to retire. And I don't think then the league is going to immediately just collapse.
Yeah, but 10 years of growth with her will help the league.
No question.
If she left right now, it would be tragic.
I agree with your premise from a league perspective. I don't like star protection, so I don't advocate for that. But star marketing for sure. Like you said, and I agree. I've experienced the same thing. There's a lot of times like, why is it not in my face like when she plays and stuff like that? I totally agree with that. Look, from a league perspective,
and I think they've dropped off on that.
They have a bad.
I used to be able to find her very easily, and now I'm not seeing it.
I think they have a bad commissioner, for sure, and I think that she is trying to strike that balance because there's people who are like, well, you're putting too much. Caitlin's like you got to go by the numbers. It is what it is. It's reality. But the whole idea that it's like she is the linchpin and then everything collapses without her, I reject it. Paige Beckers is going to be someone that people want to follow. There's a lot of young players and some who are coming into the league who are very exciting to watch. It's a growing sport. The women's college basketball. You could say, well, Caitlin, the Caitlin effect, but she's gone. She's been gone. And women's college basketball numbers are fantastic.
I agree. But the front door to this whole thing is Caitlin Clark. There are a ton of people like me. She's the door. Open the door, and then I'll discover all this other stuff. I know Paige Beckers, but I'm not compelled to turn it on to see Paige Beckers. But if I open it and turn it on to see Caitlin Clark, And then I see some of these other people. I'll get into some of those storylines and everything. But my route in is her, and you're not using that effectively enough for growth.
Lenny says the WA is just like professional wrestling. They're making you talk about something because they're manufacturing what is going on. They're picking on Caitlyn and getting attention. Mission accomplished by the WNBA. I think the difference is that they actually play games that are actual competition.
Not scripted.
Yeah, we got some interesting takes today. Texter says women's basketball is booming and the Lady Vols are irrelevant. Sigh. That is
true.
That is a fair point. And I don't know when that changes. It's been a rough go. And look, again, right here at Vanderbilt, and the recruiting continues to, if you look at all the Vanderbilt programs, obviously what Clark Lee did last year is still unthinkable in football. And I really like what men's basketball has going on with Mark Byington. Tim Corbin next year, they'll be back. But tell you, Shea Ralph.
Yeah, she's done nice work.
There's, you got to be able to play well in the big moments, and they did not in the tournament last year. But like, this could be a national championship program.
Recruit Rutgers Prep. That's the key to the Vanderbilt program.
That's
Look,
right.
At UT. Now, I know you love every coach coming in.
Sure. You got Stilly texted you about my Stephanie White.
Yeah, you love Stephanie White coming in.
Yeah, Stilly gets excited about that.
But it seems like UT hired two good coaches in a row, Lady Vols, and neither of them have panned out.
Well, I think that look.
I mean, resume-wise and the way they present themselves both seem like, hey,
You're talking about Kelly Harper previously?
Yeah, and now Caldwell.
I think that Kelly Harper was a lazy hire by Philip Fulmer.
Yeah.
I don't think he put enough into that search. Kelly Harper is a fine coach. And that's what she already demonstrated at that point. She's a fine coach.
Where'd she go now?
She's at Missouri now, and she's fine. She was NC State. She was fine. Missouri State, fine. Tennessee, fine. But you're trying to be a national championship, and she's a legendary player, and to me, that's a problem because then you can't separate the two.
Very much.
Danny White is known as being a coach finder, Nate Oates among those people. I just think that he messed up with this one with Caldwell. The insistence on the pressing stuff and having two completely different units going in and out, like it's just, this is the highest level. This is the SEC, and it just doesn't work. And now all the players apparently just with total mutiny, and I don't think it's going to end well. So
you got to be just a level. You're counting on depth there when you're starting. I mean, if you're counting on 2 units, you got to have 10 good players.
Yeah.
We'll start with 5 good players.
There's a reason in the NBA nobody presses, because when you get to a certain level of basketball skill, they're going to carve you up. And that's what she's found out in the SEC. All right, we come back. Charles Robinson talking to NFL. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Third and final hour of this Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode here on 102.5 The Game. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Robby and Rexrode, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Paul Kuharsky in for Robby today. Ian Safar producing and churning out some Yacht Rock gold. And we're very happy to bring in our next guest, Charles Robinson. Normally comes on Thursdays at 8. He moved back a day. Is this because did you find out that Paul Kuharsky was going to do the show, Charles? Is this like the excitement of being able to converse with Paul Kuharsky? Is that why you switched this week?
I was hoping we could do the 3 old men trio. It's like the 2 old guys in the balcony with the Muppets, right? We just add like the 3rd guy and see where this goes.
Does that make you Fozzie Bear? Yeah, like we're
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah. By the way,
I think I may still be the youngest though of the trio. Am I? I mean, I'm not.
Well, you're younger than me, and I'm hella younger than Kuharsky.
57 over here.
So yes, you are the baby.
Proudly
of this
57.
Group. PK was talking about us doing a CPAP podcast.
CPAP pod.
Ed actually mentioned Stadler and Waldorf.
I'm not on it yet. I'm waiting for test results.
How about you, Charles? CPAP?
No, but I'm actually excited about the advertising opportunities this provides for all 3 of us.
That's right.
Potential discount. There's discounts to this. It feels like.
I need to go back to my insurance company on that. All right, so let's talk about Brendan Sorsby, which as soon as it happened, Charles, I was like, first of all, I was like, good for the NFL. I kind of applaud it because there should be repercussions, and because if this is such a big deal, and I made a big deal out of it, both here on this show and at The Athletic, about just the integrity of the game and what you are doing if he plays in college football. But if that's true, then the NFL has to obviously take it very seriously too. Did the move surprise you at all? What has been the reaction around the league to the league, basically telling Sorsby, we'll see you next year, I think?
Well, so it's funny because I'm actually working on a piece on this for an outlet, so I'm going to be careful to let go here. But
just give it all to us.
I think it's mixed. Okay, so when you talk to people across the league, it kind of depends on the team and where they fall on it. There's certainly, and I wrote about this a while back when it kind of felt like it was heading toward the potential for him to end up in the supplemental draft. The overarching question was, for teams that would consider drafting him, do they have enough time, to do the legwork necessary? I think it felt like a lot of people, when they were focusing on the supplemental draft, they were just focusing on, well, where would he go? Where would he have gone in the 2026 NFL draft? What's the talent level? This extended so far beyond that. When you would talk to, whether it was executives, team presidents, or you talk to general managers, people in the personnel department, one of the points that got raised to me, by a number of different individuals in different franchises was it's not just a talent question. This is your legal department has to sign off on this. And ultimately beyond that, it's an ownership decision. How comfortable is your owner in potentially bringing Brendan Sorsby on board, and then the whole, pocket of questions that brings along with it. And, that's after you get to the talent evaluation and go, how do we feel about it? Where would we normally take this guy? And now that we have, all the risk that's added to him, how would we adjust the pick that we want to lay out? It's a 2027, rich 2027 NFL draft. So if there's any first round implication there, what kind of a pick could you be surrendering? So I don't think any of that changed. Right. So I think ultimately when, they moved legally to basically set aside the injunction that they had, which would make him ineligible, which allowed him to apply for the supplemental draft. Immediately, the question became, how comfortable are teams with this? And do we even need to ask that question? Because how comfortable is the league office with what I think I don't know that they're ever going to really I mean, I think there's a potential if Roger Goodell really gets into the depth of it, which he may not because maybe legal implications. But I think the question is, do you want, in a situation like this, an athlete using the supplemental draft as what maybe the league would view as a trap, sort of like the trap door where, hey, if they get, caught in a situation with college and gambling, now there's, an exit strategy where the NFL just becomes this, this out. And I don't think the NFL league office really wants it to be viewed that way. Now the question is, does Sorsby's camp have a leg to stand on in terms of, are they barring him from an ability to work, to, earn a living? And is that a potential antitrust violation? There's, a lot of other questions there, but I think it's a big enough mess that depending on which team you talk to, you'd certainly get the reaction of, we don't know if we would have had the time to do the legwork to get this done prior to camp. There's cap implications beyond just all the other litany of questions. It was a lot to deal with. And that's before you even get to the question of, is this the precedent ultimately that you want to set when it comes to gambling? And this is clearly a red line the league is laying out.
What do you think he does now for a
great
year?
Question. Yeah, it's a great question. That really is. I mean, that's the question, right?
He's got to demonstrate one thing, that he's actually seriously in treatment. Yep. He's taking it right. Like, that's one thing. But
I mean, the top thing he should do for the next year is not gamble. But besides that, football-wise, what do we think he does?
Over/under on what he does in the next year, Charles?
I think there's, it's a two-tiered question. I think it's I think there's the character question, right? Where now you have to, if ultimately this does not turn into a legal fight, which I think there's a chance that it won't, despite
they'd be smart to just back away, wouldn't they? I mean, that's enough, guys. Right?
It's a matter of opinion. I mean, it depends. If you're representing him, if you're in his camp and you're representing him, it's the best thing for him, at least when it comes to a professional standpoint, is you don't ever want to play removed from football for a year, right? You don't. It's
yeah, but if you keep fighting this, it's like you don't understand, like you're tone deaf. You don't understand the implications here. You can accept some repercussions and be a pro, right? That's what I would say.
It's the accountability factor, right? That's what you're talking about. Like you want to see a level
and
of
reading the room and the room ability. Yeah.
And even the league, the statements that the league issued to Sorsby, very much was about like, we're questioning whether or not you're really taking accountability here, because you've had this, you have this essentially the NCAA revoking your eligibility, and now you're using this opportunity to basically circumvent that and come and play in the NFL. And there's an account, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the league is basically saying there's an accountability question. So certainly from that aspect, as you said, backing away, there's an element of will he or is there an angle of taking this accountability? And now I'm focusing on the 2027 draft, but I want to answer questions here. I want to make myself available when it comes to this, this issue of gambling and how I got into this situation. There's a lot that can be done from that standpoint. So that's the one aspect of it that I think, if he does not end up, fighting a battle to get into the NFL, you're going to see a very long process of public facing. I would suggest there will be a aspect of public facing accountability on his part, and talking about at some point what exactly went on beyond what's been in legal filings and admitted to in the legal realm. Now, from a football standpoint, that's a whole other question. I would be shocked if there's any element of trying to get him on a football field elsewhere. If there are any other leagues potentially that he could play in. I think it would be more an aspect of, and again, this is me speculating here because there's so much left up in the air at this point with Brendan Sorsby, but I think it would be an aspect of him working with a quarterback coach, him, getting advisement from teams in terms of, okay, from the football side of it, what exactly needs to be done, between now and the 2027 NFL draft to refine himself and make himself, from a football standpoint, an easier evaluation for NFL teams. But there's such separate issues, I think, depending on the teams you talk to. I mean, if you can't get past what happened with the gambling and the NCAA revoking his eligibility, if you can't get past that, you don't care about the football questions, right? So I would say for all 32 teams, because he's obviously going to be available to all 32 teams at some point, you have to answer the gambling question first. If it's a red line, you're not going to cross it. Your owner's not going to cross it. Your legal counsel's got an issue with it. Your front office, your GM, your coaching staff, then he's off your board completely. And then you pare down from 32 teams to whether it's 16 teams, 8 teams, whatever, the ones that are comfortable going, we think we can get past this and work with this. Now let's move on to what you need to do as a football player. But I would ask you guys, it's, you obviously were on the Titans franchise. What in your mind do you believe would be the reaction? Now let's set aside Cam Ward, right? Obviously you take I think Titans off the board completely because of the fact you have a young quarterback. But if let's say it wasn't a quarterback, let's say it was a wide receiver, high-end wide receiver, maybe top 10 pick as a wide receiver. What would you think of the Titans going, yeah, you know what, we're going to entertain, drafting this player, and what would you think the reaction would be inside the Titans franchise and in the fan base?
Well, I think in the fan base, to me, well, first of all, as people have pointed out, and as lawyers have pointed out, even though it's a complete, hijacking of what was going on with the NCAA, they've pointed out, well, what about all these people who have committed, far more serious, offenses? Right. I think a fan base, if it's of a high enough level of talent, would celebrate it. And honestly, I think that by the time we get to the 27 draft, as long as there's nothing else that comes up with him, I don't think it'll be, like you said, there's going to be different teams that look at it differently, but I think people would be fine with it. I think he's really talented, I don't know that, we'll see. This would have been a huge year for him to prove, like a lot of quarterbacks are going to try to prove that he's actually like a first round type of player, but I think he has the tools. So if you're going to get him at the 4th round or something like that.
And that's it. I think that's part of it too, that comes into the equation, is what's the risk versus what. I almost think of like when, Maurice Claret, fought to try to get himself into the NFL and ultimately was unsuccessful. And then you had a situation where the Broncos take him with a 3rd round supplemental pick. And the mind of the Broncos, even though it was a 3rd rounder, it was de-risked enough that they're like, look, if this isn't going to work out, it's not the end of the earth for the talent we could potentially be gaining in a Maurice Claret. If it doesn't work out, to just move on from him. And that's ultimately what they ended up doing. Obviously, they moved on from it. It did not work out. It was never going to happen. And so I do think there's that, factor of weighing, the risk versus the reward. But this is just so different than anything else. It's not because gambling is it's still a hot button issue, obviously, for the NFL, particularly when it concerns gambling on whether it's your team or your sport. And I know when people brought up the idea, there were certainly some journalists who came out and said, well, the supplemental draft is let in. Here's all these other, types of infractions let in. It's never drawn this line before. I think that's the point the NFL is trying to make, is this is outside of anything we've ever dealt with before. And I think the reason why they're trying to draw this line, why people should understand why this is such a serious issue, this is precedent setting. And that's when you talk to teams that are, I've had a handful of executives who are like, this is the first of its kind on this level. And so we don't really know. There's just so many questions attached to this. So we're going down this pathway for the first time, both as a league and potentially as a franchise, if you're attaching yourself to Brendan Sorsby. And, that's the precedent that you're now setting, looking forward. And then also the looming in the background here, and I'm telling you, teams are thinking about this, and I think the league is thinking about this, and even agents I've talked to are thinking about this. It's an era of kids now coming into the NFL where gambling on their phone is not, this is like the environment they're growing up in. So it's like, is this the first of, are we going to see more of this? Like on this level even? Is this just the first time we've seen something like this? And are we going to have to adjust how we view this because of the fact that we're going to have maybe more and more kids? And by the way,
while they're also in bed, with the industry also, by the way.
Charles Robinson, who covers the NFL, our friend with us. Terry and Arnold facing some very serious accusations. Where do you think this case takes him, and what's the likelihood we see him on the field for the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, six, high-level felony, he's facing potentially 6 high-level felonies, 8 total counts. So the big deal, obviously, with Terry and Arnold. So there's going to be a Monday pretrial hearing with Hillsborough County, the DA's office, and really, essentially, what's happening is he's facing, for those who don't know, and something, that was related to theft, alleged theft that had occurred. He's facing allegations that there were 3 individuals who were basically abducted, taken to a hotel, pistol whipped by some individuals, 3 individuals. Well, Terry and Arnold was FaceTimed into this alleged occurrence, and that, basically is being accused of organizing this. That's part of what the 6 felony counts are: kidnapping, armed robbery, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and armed robbery. I mean, this is extremely, extremely serious. And he's being held without bond right now in Hillsborough County. And now there's going to be a pretrial hearing, essentially, on whether or not he should be released prior to the trial for the counts that he's facing. Now, if he is not granted bond, it means that he would be held until the trial, which very likely would eliminate his ability to be on the field for the Detroit Lions in the 2026 NFL season. But the larger question is, if he is granted bond, what will the NFL do about this? Is he going to go on the commissioner's exempt list? Is the league now going to step in and say, hey, this is just, he can't be on the field playing when he's facing, 6 felony counts that could ultimately result in life in prison if he's convicted on these felony counts. So this is crazy. Like this is just certainly something that the Lions, I think, did not expect to ultimately get to this point. The allegations, I think, were certainly shocking to a number of people in the organization, even though I think they were up on what the allegations were. But it's all going to hinge really on Monday and what a judge decides in terms of whether or not he'll be granted bail and be able to be released. But again, the league could step in very easily. I think the league could step in and set him on the commissioner's exempt list, and he won't end up playing football until this is resolved for the Lions.
Yeah, it's an ugly, ugly situation. Brandon Ayuk, what's up with this guy? Where?
He's sending out stuff telling people to buy Commanders tickets.
Yeah,
and he's on the 49ers.
Wearing Commanders hat. He's wearing Commanders gear. Yeah, that's suboptimal, I would say, for the and maybe it might be suboptimal, honestly, for the Commanders as well, and any team at this point that is considering, Brandon Ayuk as a potential option. Obviously, still with the 49ers, I don't think anything in terms of the pathway forward for the 49ers and Ayuk is going to change. I think he's still going to get released. And, I don't think anybody's going to say this, publicly from the 49ers end of this, but I do think there's an element of the reason why he's still with the 49ers is I think there's an element here of the 49ers not being thrilled with how this has been handled on Ayuk's end at all. I don't believe they think there's any trade opportunity here anymore. That's always sort of been I don't want to say a ruse, but that's been the excuse that, they're holding out for, potential compensation, some sort of a trade that could happen with Ayuk. That's not happening. And at this point, I think even if it did happen, there would certainly be question about who would acquire him, given, as PK said, he's he's gone out on social media. There have been a number of things that he said. He's clearly illustrated that he wants to go play for the Commanders. He's indicating that that's where he's going to end up playing. It's interesting that, at this point, the Commanders they're almost a side party to this because I don't even know if the Commanders at this stage, given what has sort of unfurled here with Brandon Ayuk, how comfortable they are with that addition at this point. But it's gone off the rails. I don't know how much. I don't see the Niners letting this roll into training camp. I'll put it that way, because it just becomes, how often do you want to have that distraction, right, hanging over your training camp of Ayuk still out there saying things? I think he'll ultimately end up being released by the Niners prior to camp, but it raises questions. I mean, if the Titans were to add another wide receiver to that room, it probably goes back to what Joe says about, well, what's the risk versus reward? How easy is this to bring him in and not necessarily hold on to him? Because now you have to ask questions about, is this just, a squabble, or is this, something deeper with Ayuk, where maybe now you have to question what direction is this really going with him in terms of, a player in the league? Because it's been I'll just say to you guys, I mean, doesn't it feel like it's been a really long time?
Forever.
We've seen that Ayuk, right? The 1,400.
I forgot about him.
Yard Ayuk.
He's a hell of a
Until
player,
all
though.
this
When he's on his game, he's a hell of a player.
He was.
And if he's healthy, PK, I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, it's been a while since he's been healthy and playing at that level. Certainly, I mean, if the talent's available and it's cheap, but I don't know that he'll want to be cheap. That's another question. Like at this point, I think I would be stunned if it's not a like a 1 year, basically prove it deal, given how everything's unfolded, the health questions, how he's interacted on social media with the 49ers. I don't know how much a team would commit to him at this point. I mean, maybe it's a multi-year deal, but I don't even know that he would necessarily do that kind of deal if he felt like there wasn't enough guaranteed money. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's off the 49ers roster, and then whatever team picks him up, if that is the Commanders or anyone else, it's a sort of a 2026 deal. Let's see. And then maybe we sign to do a long-term deal at some point during the season.
Charles Robinson, as always, every week, we very much appreciate you, sir. And as we close, I just want to say, for all of us old guys, at least I feel this way, I'm very grateful that Caleb Williams did not get Iceman patented. That is George Gervin.
Ridiculous request.
I guarantee you most people don't even. I mean,
George Gervin, the finger roll. Come on.
Yeah, I don't. That footage only gets more and more grainy as we try to see it through our CPAP that's attached to our face.
I don't care. You may be right, but I don't care, and I'm glad.
You're spitting in the wind.
That's right. All right, Charles. Talk to you next week. Charles Robinson. Thanks, buddy. And we come back. We'll react to some of what Charles had to say, and I guess we'll see which way PK wants to go. Titans, Yacht Rock, CPAP, Mad Men. Who knows? Robby Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Oh, yeah, baby. 102.5 The Game will have live coverage of the NHL Draft today at 6 p.m. with Willie Donick, Max Hurst, and other Preds broadcasters. We'll take you through the end of the first round as the Preds currently have the 10th overall pick. NHL Draft coverage on 102.5 The Game, presented by Tennessee Brewworks and the UPS Store, Green Hills. Again. I mean, it's just
be the same again.
It's just a jam. What can I say?
This made my top 5. I've got 5.
Well, you have to. It's a Mount Rushmore. You can't.
All
Have
right, I've got
a
a runner-up. All right,
we'll do that last segment. We build the
I'm
anticipation.
too excited.
No.
I'm too excited.
I'd also like it to invite people to subscribe to our YouTube channel, 102.5 The Game, for live shows and exclusive content. And I'd also like to deliver this courtesy of On3. Tennessee has parted ways with Chaz Coleman. Medical disqualification. Medically disqualified from the Volunteers roster. So the saga ends for Chaz Coleman. Just a brutal, outcome for the Vols. There's a lot to this. The Josh Heupel quote, which is in this On3 story, which is by Chris Lowe and Pete Nakos. He says, quote, this is Heupel, quote, Chaz has been dealing with some things, and we're here to support him. We'll continue to go through that process. So obviously there's something here more, I think, than just like someone who, didn't want to play. I mean, you're talking about a guy who has been trending to, he was a true freshman last year. This is a guy who is trending toward being a 3-year college player and a high pick. Like he's talented enough for that. If you could project continued growth. Jim Knowles is the new defensive coordinator. Coleman follows him from Penn State to Tennessee. Knowles was around him all last year. So obviously they got along well. Coleman wants to play for Knowles in Tennessee, and now it all falls apart. So clearly there's something here, and people have talked about a lot of things over homesickness or whatever. People have talked about mental health. I don't know the exact situation, but hopefully Chaz Coleman figures it out, gets his things in order, and can get back on the field somewhere. For Tennessee, it's a brutal outcome for this season. They've lost a lot on the edge. They have some other good pieces on defense, but he was going to have to be play a snap for the Vols. So it's kind of been drifting this way, and then here and there you'd think, okay, maybe there's a chance it's going to get sorted out, but we have a final outcome here, and it's not a good one for Tennessee.
And onwards they go.
I want your analysis. I want your analysis of the Tennessee defense now without Chaz Coleman.
It's not as good as it was with him. It's not going to be as good as it would have been with him.
Thank you, PK. Caleb says, on the field it's not great, but you can't have another Boo Carter situation where players out there are not bought in. Good news is we didn't pay him hardly any money yet. Don't know if we get all that all back or what. Yeah,
that's just so funny. Like I take myself back and I just like shape shifted to 10 years ago. Well, we haven't paid him much money yet.
Yeah.
At least college football conversation. It's just so
back
weird.
then it's like, like
the paper bags.
His uncle's car that he's driving, he was going to get a much nicer car from his uncle.
Will we get that car back?
Get that nice car now from his uncle. Yeah. Brandon on the YouTube chat, Heupel can't manage a locker room at all. Look, I think it's fair to look. I mean, the Boo Carter situation, first of all, definitely different from this one, right? Boo Carter, I think, was a malcontent, and his teammates didn't like him, and he didn't show up to stuff, and his mom was getting in fights with Tennessee people on whatever social media, and it was just a bad situation. This is much harder to define, okay? And I think Heupel deserves some criticism for the Boo Carter situation, how it played out, how they kind of forced him still. I mean, he's a tremendous talent, but that one looked a little bit more like a coach not managing a locker room well. And it is harder in this era when it's just transactional. It's year after year free agency. I'm going to give Heupel a little bit more grace on this one because, I mean, again, tremendous true freshman season, follows the defensive coordinator here. Everything's in place. The money's in place. And he just kind of falls off the face of the earth. He hasn't even been here. So it's like Heupel's not even managing him in Knoxville. He's not even coming to Knoxville. So I'm going to look at this one as bad luck. I understand people that want to look at Nico and Boo Carter and now Chaz Coleman and want to tie those together. And when it comes down to it, they don't help Heupel. And he's heading toward this. This makes it more likely that this season, this probably, to me, you might be able to add a loss or two to this season without this kid on the edge. I mean, he was a really important add for them. And so that's where, I mean, if Heupel can't get it done and they go back a little bit and recruiting's not going as well right now and things like that, well, then that's at some point, not in the too distant future, he's going to be on the hot seat.
Well, you got to set a high standard, that maybe you move forward without guys who are in certain situations or present certain challenges, but you have to have success without them or moving forward with alternatives. Like you're saying, if it costs you 2 games a season and it keeps happening, then people aren't going to put up with that. If you can survive the 2 games it cost you this season and the resolve pushes you forward in the next year and then you can build on it, well, that's good. But clock is starting to tick.
Yeah, it is. And look, with Nico, and I think most Tennessee fans, and I think most people around the sport looked at that and just said,
screw him.
Well, he's getting bad advice. He's getting bad advice from his dad and this kind of half agent. Like, get an agent, get an actual agent. We talk about Jeff Simmons. Get a real agent if you're a college football player. So I think most people were on Heupel's camp, and they bring in a guy who's just a throw-in, and he turns into a really productive quarterback for you like that. You snap your fingers. So, like,
people don't think they would have done better with Nico.
Yeah, I mean, and they're probably right. Nico goes to UCLA, and it doesn't go well. It went better later in the season, but people were on his side. Yes, you can look at this, and if they have no pass rush this year, obviously in the past they have recruited the edge very well. They've got guys in the pros now, but if this ends up being a big hole, and they have a 6-7 win season, then the grace starts to fade a little bit. But I do disagree with Brandon there in terms of like making this he can't manage a locker room deal. I think this is a little bit more in the bad luck category. He does point out Tennessee doesn't have a GM, and so that's fine. But let me promise you something. Like Kentucky basketball, they need a GM. Teams need GMs. Like any team takes Chaz Coleman after last year. I promise you. Any team takes Chaz Coleman, knowing he has 2 years of eligibility left. He was that good as a true freshman out of high school at Penn State. You don't need a GM to be like, yep, I'll take that guy on my team. So got to keep that in mind too. But bad news for Tennessee. And yeah, I'm less optimistic about this season now. I mean, it's been a while that we've kind of thought, yeah, this is probably, it doesn't look good. But
did I miss speculation about where he will land? Or is it too soon?
Yeah, look, that'll be very interesting because this doesn't appear to be a money, pay me more thing. It doesn't appear to be a malcontent, like I think Boo Carter was situation. And he barely hit this is something going on with him in his life. So that's a great question. Obviously, if he goes somewhere else and plays well, then people are going to be really upset. But I have not seen anything like that, and we're just going to have to wait and see. All right, we come back. We'll wrap up the show. I mean, we have very important Mount Rushmores for you and other things off the top of PK's head. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Final segment, Robby and Rex Show 125 the game. PK has been a champion today in place of Robby. Ian has also given us some wonderful yacht rock. PK, look, I got you two pops.
For those that did not hear, the final carrot that drew me to sub today, when I was not particularly excited about a 5 o'clock wake-up call, was that Joe promised me the biggest of the big gulps of a Coke Zero. And then he walked in empty-handed.
I did. Now I got you.
Just a failure. He gave me 2 sodas out of a machine that's a lame machine. How many ounces
I've
are these? They're not even
apologized.
full-size bottles, and they're lukewarm, and it's just a huge 16.9 fluid ounces.
I will get you
500 milliliters.
I'm
So you
telling
owe me.
I do. I will get you the best big gulp from the place that had the best
soda.
Fountain
We
Pop.
all know where that
Fountain
is.
Pop. I will get it for you. Are you a Zero or a Diet Coke, or
I'm
do
back
you ever
to
just
zero.
go into just regular Coke?
No,
You're back to zero.
Too many
Okay,
calories.
all right, back to zero. Well, listen, we can't waste any more time. This has been a Mount Rushmore program. For people who didn't listen earlier, we had some great Titans topics around that. So it's a summer thing, but like this is a very important part of the show. We're gonna. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first for fear that you might steal some of mine.
Yacht Rock Mount Rushmore.
Definitive list.
Okay, go ahead.
Africa by Toto. Unquestionable. I'm going off the book with Christopher Cross, away from sailing.
Oh, so am I. Don't do it.
Ride like the wind.
Holy crap. So am I.
Ride like the wind.
Ride like the wind. Yeah,
You better
Africa.
change it up now. That's not ride like the wind.
I
That's
cannot
Africa.
believe. No, we did not. That is absolutely the correct answer. You know why? Because ride like the
So
wind.
good. Stop playing Africa during the ride like the wind.
But it's always good background. Ride like the wind could also be applied to sailing, the yachting.
Yeah.
But it also is like, "Guys of the moment," and then it's Michael Dow. Such a long way to go.
Such a long-
I mean, if you get
Got to go to bed in New Mexico.
there you go. You got it.
And you ride. That's a great song.
It's if you get Michael McDonald in on a song, then it immediately elevates.
And
its
he appears twice on
Well, I
Ride
don't
Like-
care. I'm keeping Ride Like the
Number
Wind, too.
3. This is it.
Are you
by
kidding
Kenny
me?
Loggins.
Are you freaking kidding me? I
Great-
don't care.
great
I'm
minds
keeping
think
that on
alike.
mine too. This is it by Kenny Loggins. By the way, this is it. Also, Michael McDonald in on that song with Kenny Loggins.
Oh, my
Okay,
God. Then he's 4 times on mine because number 4, I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald. Honorable mention, Low Down by Boz Scaggs. That's it. That's the list.
And if you can, this is Ride Like the Wind. If you can do, you got Boz Scaggs. Throw me a little low down because that was very close to mine too. I have This Is It, Ride Like the Wind. I mean, I have What a Fool Believes, which is Doobie Brothers,
that's
obviously.
quality.
I mean, to me, I think that's kind of the quintessential yacht rod song. And again, what a fool believe. It's Michael McDonald. This is Boz Scaggs' Lowdown, which is like
Very good.
yeah, and again, like you have to be of a certain age, but once they start playing the, I mean,
Very 70s.
yeah, I mean, once they start playing, what is that? Is that like what is that? Like, what is that instrument?
Piccolo?
But the
I don't
texture
know.
caller was correct earlier. Apparently, it is a marimba on your song there.
It's a marimba on Moonlight.
Starbucks. Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
that we both went Ride Like the Wind and This Is It. And then I insisted on going first for fear of you getting there. And then we had that overlap.
I'm actually shocked.
Classic.
I'm shocked. But my last
Classic.
one, by the way, is if this qualifies, which I qualify it, Baker Street by Jerry
Baker
Rafferty.
Street is a fantastic.
Baker
song.
Street by Jerry Rafferty.
That's some good horns.
Foo
there.
Fighters covered that. So that was also good. But
That was an
his
excellent
version,
exercise.
yeah. So there you go. Lots of good yacht rock out there. I advise everybody, including you two,
Oh, that's good.
absolute jam.
That's soothing.
I advise you and everybody out there to watch the yacht rock documentary. It get the whole history. It starts out with Michael McDonald jamming out in front of like a crowd in like California in like 1979. I mean, like what could be better?
If my all 22 hasn't listened to this live, they are in for a treat when they listen to it after you send it out on Twitter, Ian.
Yeah, you're all 22. I did not know. Big
They
yacht-
are huge.
You're big
yacht rock.
yacht rock fans, but everyone should be a big yacht rock fan. All right, everybody have a good, safe weekend out there.
Don't block the box, and be sure to lock your locks. I want my soda.
Thanks, man. Up with Jake Lyman coming up next. 102.5 The Game.